Sometimes it gets rough having a lot of failures in a row. I think the last 2 months in Chicago Auto Pros have been some of the toughest months that we've ever had. Welcome to Chicago Auto Pros, everybody. Today is Monday, August 21st. We got some fun stuff going on in the shop. This is a real world vlog, and we're gonna go down and dirty, and you're gonna see what it's really like at a big shop. We were in here Saturday working on this 600,000 mile Lexus. This is gonna be a separate video. So this is a kind of a unique car. Another YouTuber, the car care nut, Ahmed, bought this car, and he's been restoring this car that has 600,000 miles on it. In his own opinion, this is one of the best cars ever manufactured, and he probably has a very good argument, and a lot of people would probably agree with him. So he's bringing it back. Our job is to do an interior detail on it. You can see. We might have taken it a little too far. But we're gonna be working on this today. We got a lot of other cars. The guys are just prepping a couple cars today. Let's get the day started.
Hi, my name is Dan, and I'm the office manager at the Lombard location in Chicago Auto Pros. Today we had a few X5s drop off for window tint. We have a convertible E450 Mercedes getting PPF tint and coating. We are actually pulling the PPF off of a GT2 RS. And little odds and ends, we got a Model S Plaid, we're doing full car stealth, a couple Rivians. The shop is looking pretty good and pretty full. Today we're hoping to finish the tint cars and possibly a couple of the coating and PPF vehicles.
What car is this?
The GT2 RS. You know, they didn't make many of them, and it's a modified monster. So, yeah. We're busy in PPF. That's about it.
Okay, it's gonna be a hot one today, Chris. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I just turned 40 this summer, and I've officially been detailing for half my life. Crazy to think about. 20 years of detailing. For 15 of those 20 years, I was a technician. I was learning the craft, right? So, I mean, I started off as a mobile detailer. I did it for a long time. In the past 5 years, it's been that switch over from a technician to a business owner. And it's a whole different set of skills and a whole set of different challenges. It's been a weird and a unique 5 years. I miss being in the cars like this. I miss doing it. I love doing it. It makes me feel so satisfied to be able to work with my hands and see the difference that I make and do something and give it to the customer, where doing a lot of the business stuff is just it's not the same. A lot of times you feel like you're never done. Like working in the office, doing a marketing campaign, or working with the employees, or figuring out process procedure stuff. It just feels like it's a lot bigger job that never gets done. You're always working on it, and sometimes the satisfaction's not there. In the last 5 years, going from that technician to a business owner, I've made a lot of mistakes in the last 5 years. A lot of things that I wish I would have done differently. But then again, I don't think you can do things differently. I think you can have failures and then learn from them. It's been a rough 5 years for me, but I still think I've learned a lot, and I'm still learning, and I feel like I'm just beginning still in a lot of different areas within the business, Chicago Auto Pros, Car Supplies Warehouse, and stuff like that. But I think every failure that we do gets us closer to the person that we want to be, or the things that we want to learn. Sometimes it gets rough having a lot of failures in a row. I think the last 2 months in Chicago Auto Pros have been some of the toughest months that we've ever had. The economy's getting a little soft, so it's getting harder to get cars in. I mean, we still have plenty of cars and plenty of work, but it's been a little more of a challenge to get cars in. Also had a lot of failures or learning opportunities in the past 2 months with employees too. I think we've lost, I think it's been like 6 or 7 employees in the last 2 months. And I think it's for a lot of different reasons. We have 25 employees at this shop, a total of 50 employees between the two shops, and that's a lot of employees. I think we've had a couple people leave for financial reasons, and I don't blame that at all. I think anybody needs to look out for themselves and do what they think is going to be best for them. I mean, anybody has to do that. Like, look at PPF. We had 8 people at one time. I think like 6 guys that were just phenomenal, and 2 guys that were just learning and training. And they've been here for a long time. And I think, like, if you're the number 1 guy, you're the number 2 guy, you're the number 3 guy, like, we pay well. Like, those guys get paid well. When you're the number 4 guy, the number 5 guy in line, you could easily go to another shop and be the number 1 guy. And they will be able to make more money by being the top guy. And I don't think there's anything, I mean, I love it. The guys that have left, I love them. I love everybody here, but I understand why they left. I mean, they got to do what is best for them. But it presents us with a challenge of, like, okay, the amount of work that we're doing, we have enough work for 8 guys. But how do we keep 8 people when you know, like, the top 4 people, you're going to go above and beyond and pay them as much as you can. But like that number 4, 5, 6 guy spot, like, how do you keep them around? I think we're learning that. I think we got to figure out. It's a challenge that we got to learn. Like, you know, that number 1, 2, or 3 guy, they're not moving up into those spots unless those top 4 guys leave. I don't know. Let's get back to working on this car. So vacuumed it up. I think we're gonna do a lot of scrubbing here. We got some damage on the seats, the center console, and the steering wheel. We're actually gonna bring that to a company, a trim company, who is going to fix that. And then we're gonna bring it back here and we're gonna fill some of the stuff and actually do leather repair to a lot of the stuff in there. But first, it's just a lot of cleaning. So we're gonna start with the frame in here. I'm gonna wipe down everything. We got the ECU and the whole harness that is coming through here. Gotta be very careful. It's not just take a pressure washer to it, even though I wish we could. It's almost to that point, but we can't just take a pressure washer to this and just do it. So I'm gonna get here with a couple spray bottles, a couple brushes, some air, and just clean this frame really well. Little by little, we'll get this thing done. I'm gonna take everything out back here. All right, they just pulled my brand new car in. This is one of the most beautiful cars ever made. Beautiful car. Yeah?
Removal?
Yes.
Hopefully, maybe a paint correction or?
Yeah, I'll talk to them today. I know we're just starting with the paint protection removal, so I'll give them a call. What are you doing to this car, Ryan?
Just putting a full wrap on it. Doing the Gloss Hypnotic Black by KPMF.
Looks purple.
Yeah, it's purple, but they call it Gloss Hypnotic Black.
That's false advertisement.
I just work here.
I don't know, it looks pretty damn purpley to me. Jose, what are you doing?
Me?
Yeah.
Nothing, just hanging around. No, I'm cutting out the film. I'm cutting out the film for BMW X5.
Why are you doing that?
Why? Because I don't know.
Bobby, what are you doing?
Doing just mirrors. Doing one.
Why are you doing that?
Because I love it.
There's a lot of BMWs in the shop today, huh?
Yeah.
Mercedes, BMW, 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 BMW.
Thank you, appreciate it. Yep, okay, see you then. Bye.
Good. Full PPF removal.
Yes.
We're gonna put PPF back on, full front end and rocker panels, and then polish the rest of it out.
Thank you.
Not as limber as I used to be. My legs are getting tired really fast. Another challenge to owning a detailing business and a detailing business this big that I was thinking about is, as an owner, I've invested everything, right? I'm committed to this. I've invested all my time, all my money, everything into this business, where as employees, they're not as invested in this business as I am, right? I mean, they're investing their time for a paycheck, but they have the choices and the options to be able to do whatever they want. If you're somewhere for a long time, I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but if you've ever worked a job for 6, 7, 8 years, or maybe you've dated somebody for 6, 7, 8 years, no matter how great that person is, no matter how well the thing is going, how great the job is or what you're doing, you love it. Like, you kind of always think like, well, is this the best it's gonna get? Is there something else out there? You may wonder, you know, just is the grass greener on the other side? So, you know, we have that to compete to, and I don't, again, like I think everybody needs to do what makes them happy or what they think is going to make them happy, and that's another challenge with having employees for a long period of time. You know, and I think this is a great job, but what else is out there for them? Let's see what else is out there. What else is out there? This cleaning, this will probably take me most of up until lunch. I mean, cleaning all these frames and everything, it's not just wipe it down real quick. There's a lot of cracks and crevices and shit on here that I need to get up. So I'm thinking this is gonna take me at least a couple hours just to clean this frame. You can actually smell the dust. Like when you're wiping it, you can smell it. And that's a part of an old vehicle smell, is just dust, right? You can smell that dust. And so that's what we're removing here. It's just all the dust that has settled in after so many years and so many miles. I might need more towels. Look at that. Whew. I don't know where to go. I clean over here, then I see dirt over here. I'm just like jumping all over the place. It's hard to like work in a system at all with this. Everything's dirty. So gross. The interior frame is looking pretty damn good. I'm gonna go over just a couple more spots with just wiping and everything. I still have the doors to do to get inside here. I mean, we got all this little shit over here on the rack that we gotta start cleaning. This is an enormous job. I mean, that took me 3 hours just to do the interior frame. We got the doors and everything else. So we're gonna go to lunch. We'll be back in a minute. This is a challenge. I don't know, do I just get in the trunk? We're cruising along, getting things done. And it's hot. It's supposed to get hotter the next 2 days too, so.
So earlier we talked about a couple of challenges that come with being a business owner.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that
Yeah, well, there's lots as a business owner, but in particular to like the more recent issues is culture. It's one of these things, you know, like when you have four to eight guys, you know, the owners typically set the culture. And I think that's what we did in the beginning too. You know, me and Greg were here a lot, setting the culture, and out here working every day. You know, that's changed in the last 3 years because honestly, with Car Supplies Warehouse and Optical, kind of haven't been around Chicago Auto Pros too much. I think I'm here, you know, like once a day or once a week usually. And we've heard some people recently say that, you know, that it's just changed. The culture has changed. And I think it's natural. I think you change people, and within time, people change. They mature. They, you know, different things are important in different, you know, times in their life. So a lot of things change, and I think culture always changed. And for the guys that have been here for a long time, they've seen that change. I kind of worked my way out of working at Chicago Auto Pros and other things, and they're right. The culture has changed a little bit, and I don't know if it's for the good or the better. Obviously, if they're saying that the culture's changed, they probably don't think it's a good thing. I think in a big company like this, when you have 50 people between the two shops, you're looking for some of the leaders to step up and take, shape the culture and continue the culture, whatever we were giving out there. I know one of the gentlemen who is leaving us, he said, it's like, I just feel like I don't have any more growth options here. And he was a manager of the operations for the detail shop, and that's a real thing, because I mean, what is his next position? He's a manager, he's operations manager of the detail shop, and besides working at the front desk or doing film or becoming like a regional manager, which I don't know if we need, there isn't much room for advancement once you hit that, and that's a challenge that we need to think about. That's something that we need to take care of. Everybody wants to feel like they are making a difference in the company, and maybe if things change, so that's something as us as a leadership team and us as a company need to think about and need to have a path for these guys. I think one of our big goals is in the next 10 years to have employee-owned franchises. Somebody can come in, and that's, I think, the next step. And so a part of the culture the last 2 years is we're becoming more of a franchise systems thinker, and that will change the culture for sure. I know in the beginning for us, it was just exciting to just get out there and do whatever we need. But as a company that's going to grow, and if you're going to give a franchise or have that opportunity for a franchise, you almost have a little more of a corporate feel, right? You have to know the numbers. There has to be systems. There has to be processes. So I think in the last 2 years, we've been more concentrated on our numbers. What are our expenses? What are all this stuff? And maybe that's why the culture has changed, because you do have to put a little more emphasis on that if you're going to be franchising. You want to make sure that everybody's successful in it too. So even though I don't like it, you become a little more corporate. You become a little more thinking about this type of stuff, and it can put some pressures on some people. And it's a lot of people in the positions weren't thinking about that stuff before. They didn't really have to dive into the numbers. They just had to worry about doing the installations. And now we have managers that we are holding responsible to get to some numbers for the business in order for us to be successful, in order for us to put money back into making the processes and systems to grow and everything.
Any tips off the top of your head for improving culture?
Tips for improving culture. Culture is one of these things where it's like, it's the unwritten rules of your company, so it's not like you can just demand a certain type of culture. If you demand a culture, that's probably not a good thing. It's just a natural occurring thing. But I think it's being a team, being a family, being giving support to each other. We have a system called EOS that we use now, so it gives everybody a voice, to kind of give their opinion on what's working in the company, what's not working in the company. In the end, culture it's everybody's job. It's everybody's job to pitch in and make this family environment, because one person can destroy a culture, unfortunately. So I think it's everybody. I think it's, you set the tone at the top, right? The leadership has to set the tone, absolutely, for everybody else to be involved. But I don't know, you guys have any tips?
We're basically done taking off the PPF. I just need this door handle and the rocker, and then taking off all the glue, and then we should prep it for PPF.
How's it been so far?
A pain. I would show you guys my fingers, but they're probably bleeding underneath these gloves. But it's all part of the process.
I feel like we clean it, and then we clean it again, and then we clean it again, and then we're halfway there. And then we clean it again. So it's looking good. I'm gonna polish this out a couple times. So we've been talking all day about the challenges of being a business owner, specifically to employees and some of the issues that we've been having here at Chicago Auto Pros, which I think is perfectly normal and some businesses, you go through this every once in a while. I think another one of the challenges is just hiring the right people. You know, sometimes you go through the whole interview process, you go through the resume, they have the experience, they seem like really nice people, and then for whatever reason you work with them for 3 or 4 months and you just realize it's the wrong person, and that happens sometimes, and perfectly normal in any business. But it sucks hiring people. You try to find the best people and people that are going to mesh well together and come together and have the same values, but sometimes you just make a bad hire and that's the reality of it. So it's late in the day. I think we're going to start packing some of the stuff up and then bring all of the leather that needs to be repaired over to the interior trimmer, get that done. But otherwise, I think we're going to wrap it up here. We're pretty close to being done. I need some water. Cheers, everybody. Cheers to Chicago Auto Pros, past employees, the present employees, the future employees. Cheers to cleaning, detailing, to learning, to always facing new challenges, to growing as a person, and just to life, I guess. Thank you for watching. Cheers for you subscribing, and we hope to see you on the next one. Later.